the most difficult part for me in the format of the classes that I took here was the Socratic method that most professors use when they teach. And it was quite a change for me, at least from what I have experienced before in getting my undergrad degree in Russia. Because, for example, in the Russian universities, I think most common method of teaching is lecture. And it's kind of a passive way of teaching. Here, especially at the law school, all the students are constantly engaged and constantly on the spot. You can be called on at any moment, at any time of, any day, as many times in the week as professor wants to, and you have to always be prepared in advance for your class. You have to always read the night before the new material that hasn't been taught yet by your professor. And I found that at first quite intimidating, but then eventually I realized that this was probably teaching me the most effective way possible. And even though this has been intimidating and quite difficult, I found a wide network of support at the law school via the Office of Academic Success Programs with Dean Jarman as the head of that program, and also the program for first-year classes being, I guess, co-taught or not co-taught, but coached by the first-year mentors, just other students from upper divisions who help the professor, and they conduct review sessions and things like that. So the first-year students really find a lot of support. Something that I found really helpful here at Texas Tech Law is the open door policy, that all of the professors are always available for any questions you might have. Anytime you struggle with a class, you can always make an appointment, or you can even just drop by, and if the professor is there and in the office, they would always be available to talk to you and would never really turn you away, turn you down. So I think that actually may be a distinguishing feature for Texas Tech Law from what I hear from other students from other law schools, that open door policy is really great. It makes it a little bit easier and less intimidating to study here. So overall, I would say that the faculty here is very experienced, professional, very knowledgeable, and competent in the subject areas. Yet at the same time, they are very approachable, and it's possible to actually have a conversation with your professor after class. I thought it was great. At Texas Tech Law, I attended a couple of things that I thought was really interesting. All the time we have various panels hosted by various student organizations where lawyers are invited or judges from different courts are invited, and I attended quite a few of those, and I thought those panels on various topics, of course it depended on the practice area or a particular topic, particular organization, but I found those events really helpful if you wanted to establish a network with other professionals. And just learn about a particular area of law or particular practice area in more detail. I also attended all the criminal law symposiums hosted by the Texas Tech Law Review, of which I am a member, and I found those symposiums very interesting, and just even if you're not specifically interested in the criminal law, because we had the most prominent scholars come from all over the nation and speak, and that was so great to be able to hear those scholars that we have textbooks by, authored by in our classes, and all of a sudden you see them in real life, and of course judges as well. Kind of interesting to get somebody from a highest court come here and speak. I also attended the banquets, and one of the things that was kind of more on the fun side, not necessarily scholarly, there are quite a few things that the Career Center does, and one of them was the etiquette dinner, and I attended both in my second year and my third year. They just host it once a year, and they just teach you the table manners and the dinner etiquette, and you have a speaker. And there are some other events that the Career Center did like that. I believe there's one that was a how to dress in the fashion show. I personally didn't go, but I had some friends who went, and they said it was great. So there are quite a few things that most of them are law related or profession related, but there are some fun things that just teach you, manners and how to dress and just how to look more, I guess, professional. It's a great college town. I think it embodies your expectations of what a college town would be like. I think it's a perfect combination of a town, kind of a bigger city flavor that has quite a few different things to offer in terms of education, sports, entertainment, fun. Yet at the same time, it's very accessible, and by that I mean you can get from any point in the town, from one side of town to the other side of town in under 20 minutes, which you cannot really do in most of your major cities. Yet it does have to offer almost all of the things that any major city has to offer. There are theaters, movie theaters, a ton of restaurants to eat, all different cuisines of probably of the world. I have counted probably 20 or 30 different cuisines at least represented, and there are a lot of opportunities for sports. There are a lot of parks. There is a lake, Buffalo Lake, that you could go take your boat out or water ski, and it's within 15 minutes from downtown Lubbock, or maybe 20 minutes, which was great. As in terms of the landscape, it's very green. It reminded more of a European style town, a little bit more so than I've lived in some other parts of Texas, and this seems to be a little bit more European-like. Like I said, there are a lot of parks you can go to. As far as weather, now weather can be quite unpredictable here. Unfortunately, sometimes you have a day when you have your temperature in the 90s, and then the very next day you have it in low 40s or even 30s. And we've had a very rocky April, this past April, where we had this happen constantly. One day it's hot, and next day it's really cold. It's pretty windy out here, so you need to be kind of used to or be prepared for the wind and dust storms. We do get dust storms quite a bit. But I think it's a great town for college students, and the campus is really like a town in itself. So, I mean, the campus itself is like a mini town within a town. But I think it's a good place for students, and the transportation is pretty well, I guess, established as far as for college students. We have a good bus system, so you don't even have to have a car if you want to get around to most places. I think it's great. I've really enjoyed living in Lubbock for the past 3 years.